I was muted. What's up, nerds? Don't mind me, just getting hair in my eye and everywhere. My hair is everywhere. I can't control it. It just has a mind of its own. Anyway. Good morning for most of you. It's evening for me. It's not evening, but like mentally it's evening. Y'all know, I'm going to bed after this, basically. But yeah, remember how I said I didn't want to wait like a full month before I revisited this game again? Oops. It's always one of two things, y'all. It's either one of two things. Either I'm really busy because I randomly got a bunch of work, or crippling depression. I'll let y'all decide which one it was this time. I was not busy. I'll tell you that. Listen, y'all know what it is. Y'all know how it is. Wait a minute. Hang on. I think this is actually my main save file right now. Right? Yeah. Yes. Right. Oh, and we're about to go do our first visit to Eka. Oh, I'm about to be simping right out the gate. Shit, what was I gonna say before I got started? I fucking already forgot. Oh, well, I mean, I was just gonna give another fucking spiel about how I'm trying to actually, like, make an effort to do some more scheduled, structured streaming and do it more often and all that. You know, you've heard it all before, but I mean it this time. You can't see it on my door because the webcam isn't catching it, but I got one of those dry erase calendars to, like, keep track of what day it is and what I'm doing on those days. And yeah, hopefully that will help. I mean, I wouldn't have thought to stream today, except I planned to. See? And then it happened. So, yeah, that wasn't what I was planning on saying, but I don't remember what I was going to say, so we're just going to get into it again. Oh, fuck. It's interesting that... I don't know how many days there are. It's interesting that... fuck, what's his name? Is like an option to go hang out with, because he's not like a main... He's a new character, so building a relationship with him, because I think there's stats I'm accumulating as I do this with these characters, or whatever. Weird that he's involved in that. Also, okay, so... Fuck. I don't know if it's possible to do, like, a perfect run of this. I don't know how. I'm just prioritizing, giving food to Eka because I'm a simp, and listen, I got priorities. I don't remember where I saw it because I don't know anything about this mechanic from the script or anything. Like, I don't know anything about it. But I saw someone say somewhere that Gyoff is really hard to get interactions with. So that's the only thing I know. To, like, if Gyoff shows up, to, like, drop everything and go see him. So that's that, and Eka are my priorities for no reason. Hey, Maxie. Ooh. Oh, I love that emote. I'll say that the text is kind of hard to register in, like, emote format, but otherwise, man, I love your art, dude. I have so much more appreciation for... I always appreciated... Well, okay, it's not... You say not the best high, but, like, it is expression-wise. I just didn't realize there was... I didn't know that was text above the head until I zoomed in on it, that's all. See, listen, alright, that emote, from all the way back here without hovering over it, I can see it says pathetic. So, like, that comes across perfectly. They're really good. I've always been an appreciator of art, but, because I've gotten into animation lately and revisiting art, I'm not much of an artiste. I didn't go to school for it. I didn't study it. I'm just self-taught, and I like to doodle. But I have so much more appreciation for art and animation than ever before. Like, it's crazy. I'll go through shit frame by frame now. Like I'll go through a cartoon I like and just go like frame by frame to be like, how did they do this? Like, oh, I'm such a nerd. Anyways, okay, Eka, we're doing it. No more stalling. Oh, and I got my controller. I don't know how it works with the point and click map layout or whatever, but for the dialogue boxes, I got my fucking controller going. For my poor wrists. Adder rummaged inside his pile of coal until his hand finally grazed the burlap sack he'd stashed away inside it. He waited until just after lunchtime so he could wander off among the hustle and bustle. And though sneaking out was a breeze, his mind would not forgive him so easily for what felt like a betrayal of sorts. Hey, I mean, tall lady say get food, you bring food. Still, he trudged on towards the old labyrinthian? I mean, that is a word too. Labyrinthic alleys that waited beyond the main street. Adder looked at the small note he'd held in his hand for the 10th time in 3 minutes, as he nervously turned a corner again. Hey, it's Whelp! He had just bent his neck down once more to check for any directions he might have missed, when he caught a familiar growling. The wolf Eka called Whelp yipped at him from the darkness. The beast started to walk deeper into the alleys. Adder took a deep breath.
Bones, good to see you here. Come on up. Did you bring the goods?
I wonder if I should have this on auto. Nah. Oh, how's the volume, by the way? I think the Hayseed Knight in general has pretty low volume compared to like Ace Attorney, so I tried to adjust it accordingly, but I don't know. Our favorite part-time errand boy opened his hand, letting a small sack of potatoes fall on the table.
I also found a bunch of earth almonds, if you like them. It's a bit late to go making horchata this year, but they're good on their own, too.
Yes, tiger nuts! Oh man, how did you know? I love these little guys.
Oh, was this the session where I lost everything and we had to do it all over again? Like, I remember this too well, actually. It sounds good here? Awesome. Okay. It was. I'm so embarrassed still for that. Oh, man. It happens to everyone, but still. Adder was about to open his mouth and point out that earth almonds were meant to be left soaking overnight before consumption so as to avoid breaking one's teeth in half. But he realized that he wasn't in any position to argue. Also, I love almonds, by the way. Got that in common. Fucking love almonds.
Oh man, I was starving. Oh, thanks, Bones. You're a lifesaver.
It's nothing. If I'd known you could eat veggies, I would have gotten you some sooner.
Oh yeah, a green diet and lots of vinegar is key to keeping good teeth out on the sea. It's not like we can eat exactly the same as you, though. Grazers have a lot more options than us when it comes to feeding. And then again, I guess carnivores get more bang for the buck.
Ha 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 ha. Adder furrowed his brow. Something bothered him, and it wasn't Eka's blasé approach to talking about sentient beings as nourishment for once.
What's that word mean? Carnival.
Carnivore? We don't really have a word for us like grazers do. The bear man thought that beast sounded a bit rude, so we've been trying it out, but like, in the end, it's just a fancy way of saying meat eater, right? I eat your meat. I mean, yeah, true, but
I forgot about that line.
Reductive.
This is the moment, right, that everybody realizes that the bear man is Illigrab.
It's not like we kill for the fun of it. Unlike you weirdos. Always gnawing shrubs to the branch when you could just wait for them to drop fruit. We get sick without meat, you know? It's in our blood.
I also fully agree. Love meat. Delicious. I feel bad because I've mentioned before that Adder is probably my favorite character. But bitch, I love venison. Ooh, y'all ever had deer jerky? Oh, it is tasty. Adder didn't want to know. He most definitely didn't want to ask. But a sick sense of morbid curiosity got the best out of Adder.
How's that work? I mean, did you have what did you even eat back home?
Oh, you know, there's plenty of variety in the archipelago. Mollusks, shrimps, bugs. Stoats when they bother us.
I got a jar of raw venison pate right now. Hell yeah, brother. Also proud of me for not flubbing the word archipelago. That was a word when I was younger that, like, for the life of me, I could not say, and I don't know why. Also, I'm disagreeing now on the whole shrimp thing. Don't like shrimp.
If I never have to sink a tooth in another stoat, it'll be too soon. See, pup, the key to flavor is relaxation. Grease is where the taste goes. And a bunch of stalkers like us, we're always tense, so we taste really bad. Here, check it out for yourself. Give me a little chomp.
I love that she offers. She's just like, no, for real, try me. Like, I taste awful. You have to taste for yourself.
No, I don't think I will.
No, come on.
Oh, come on, Bones. You don't need to hold back. I don't taste half bad at all.
Eka leaned against Adder, propping herself up on one elbow. This is so horny. She started gnawing at her forearm until it's not. It's so horny until it's not.
I'm gonna go now?
Oh, sure. Drop by whenever. It's good to have you around.
I don't know if I said this during the session or not, but I was actually chewing and slobbering on my hand during this. I was like this.
You heard the news?
Yes. Dor let me know something like this would be coming this morning, but didn't exactly specify beyond that. He says that I have my way and he has his. I'll make a point to call for peace and endurance during the prayer today and remind the congregation what our purpose is.
Oh, fuck. Okay, maybe I should have spoken to, it's Itora, right? I saw that was an option, but I was like, but Eka, but like, well, maybe I missed a window. Fuck. I don't know how tight some of these windows are. Ooh, I keep accidentally hitting the microphone. I'm so sorry. Jiao sagged forward, burying her face in her hands.
Whatever it may be. Am I failing them as much as I think, Ada?
No!
Is it my fault for letting this situation come so far?
Kinda. But you had good intentions. A few seconds passed by. Jiao looked up at Adder expectantly.
You really want to hear my thoughts?
It'd be nice for a change.
As a friend, I know you're doing your best to do good. Nobody could blame you for any of that.
And as a dear?
Adder shifted uncomfortably.
The dear opinion is that hearing all the things the Zels say and how the town replied, this was always going to happen in the end, one way or another. You just got roped into heading the march.
True. As much as I'm like, you two idiots accidentally started a revolution and it's real scary and probably not going in a good direction right now, it's like, this was gonna happen no matter what. That's the thing when it comes to stuff like this. Somebody was gonna eventually cause this to happen.
Do you think that Jessif will be mad at me?
What, for taking her spotlight? No. Everyone needs someone to believe in. You and I believe in her. They believe in you. Sep believes in herself. And Aina probably believes that she could punch the whole city to the ground and solve everything in a moment.
Because she could. Yo, Kadangus! I'm here again. During normal hours for you. How's it going? Across the pond. Jiao nodded quietly. It's 5 p.m. for me. Oh, no. Wait, what time is it now? I meant to go live. Oh, okay. It's like almost noon. Bruh, I meant to go live much earlier than this, actually. So, we'll still go for a little bit, though.
I'm going to open the doors to the main temple and let them all into the premises. If nothing else, it's my duty to veil for the safety of the congregation at least. You don't need to get involved any further. Just look after our Jessif, please.
No! Run that by me again one more time, ma'am? You really think I'm gonna get all cozy up in my little corner and leave you alone to deal with this? We're a team! If you find yourself up to your neck in mud, I'm here to give you a ride on my shoulders.
No.
If the guards come for us, then we'll just need more people. It ain't about you or me or just Barhan's and Neckcanes. There's all sorts that have it rough around here. We're fed up as well. We make them see we're together, We'll all be stronger.
True, true, true. A chuckle broke Adder's incipient revolutionary streak. Aww, Zhao was wiping a stray tear from her eye.
Don't cry, please. What is it? What did I say?
No, no. I'm glad. I owe you an apology, Ada. I really thought you only cared about the Jasif for the longest time.
I mean, yeah, you ain't wrong. I'm only doing this for her. Not that I don't care about you, but this just got nothing to do with me, yeah? I just hate it when folk get treated poorly for no reason, that's all.
Why does that fluster you so much? It's a good thing to care.
My horns it is. I don't want to care too much. You start caring about one person in the street, and suddenly you care about two. And then you start caring about all the people you never met. And what do you do then?
Yeah, I understand this a little too well because I don't know, maybe this is like way too gonna drive myself into some topical waters, but it's just, you know, sometimes I wish that I was as shitty as sometimes my brain tells me I am. Like, I would really love to to know what it's like, I think, to not care so much, but I can't help it. I can't help it. I get really upset about stuff that has nothing to do with me. And, like, that's a good thing, I know. It's a good trait to have, but it's also really exhausting. And sometimes I kind of wish I could be an asshole and just not care. Like, what is that like, I wonder?
You can't just think about everyone having it rough, right? You can't do nothing about it. You can't do nothing.
Oh, no. I'm, like, emotional now. Unexpectedly, I'm all choked up. Yeah, that's, I think, probably the Nero-spicy sense of justice. I can't stand it. And it's like, once I'm aware of it, I can't pretend I didn't see it either, you know? So... And maybe it just comes from a place of, like... I feel like this... Okay, I'm gonna get topical for a second. I feel like this country, I live in the United States, a lot of places are like this, but in the United States specifically, this country has an empathy problem. And I think a lot of it comes from people who don't know what it is like. So, like, they don't really have the imagination or the personal reference to draw from to understand the plight of other people, you know? Does that make sense? So it's like I've been, you know, I've been abused. I've been, you know, like I'm white, but I'm a woman, and, like, you know, I know what that is like growing up with those prejudices. I grew up poor. I've been homeless. So, like, I see things and I'm just kind of like, I know what it feels like, and I don't want that to happen to other people. So if there's anything I can do about it, I want to do something about it. A lot of people, and I went through this streak when I was in high school, maybe, when I was a teenager, where instead of being empathetic, I would look at people and go, well, they didn't suffer the way I did, so they don't understand me, and, you know, they need to get over it. You know, like the whole, like, they're upset over something and it's not a big deal compared to what I've been through, you know what I'm saying? Thankfully, I grew out of that, because I see a lot of people also doing the oppression Olympics, and it's like, it's about the feelings, you know? Like, the shit that you've gone through is nothing compared to some other people who've gone through way worse shit. It's really reductive to look at things that way. I can see horrific shit and just go sure and ignore it. See, sometimes I wish I could do that, because I go through a lot of agony over stuff I don't have any control over. I can't do anything about it. So it just hurts. And that sucks. Because it's not productive, you know? It would be better if I could take that hurt and do something productive with it, but I just can't. For certain things. Also, hi, Sardine. I don't think I said hi. I understand, though, that, like, because that is such a huge problem, too, when it comes to, especially cis men. When you're raised to suppress your emotions, And or it's not even necessarily that, it's just being constantly told over and over that your feelings don't matter. Like, suck it up. No one cares that you're feeling bad. Get over it. Be a man. And it's like, oof, that's so bad. Like, that's so harmful to a child or young adult psyche. That's a big problem here too, which is another thing I think that adds to the empathy problem, is that you know, the US is a patriarchy, you know, it's run by dudes like this. When I was a teen, I thought the world was against me, and if I had a good upbringing, I'd be good. And then I met a guy with fantastic parents and an easy life and all the privilege who just turned out to be a shithead. And I realized that it was just me against the world instead. Yeah, well, and it's like, the easy life and all the privilege is like, if you're not taught empathy and your life is fine, it's like, you don't really have anything in your arsenal to, like, understand the plight of people who are suffering, I guess. It's tricky, because it's like, I don't want people to suffer in order to understand suffering. But I think that the way that we bring people up should be much healthier in... Because, you know, kids... The smallest thing upsets children, you know? Like, they can't play with a toy right now, and it's like the end of the world for them. And it's like, maybe instead of just shutting that down, we should talk kids through these feelings and acknowledge that, like, it's okay to be upset about things. And then maybe they'll be able to develop a healthier sense of empathy, perhaps. So yeah. I hope I'm being very, like, I hope my point is being made, like, clearly here, because it's like, I don't believe that people are just evil. Like, I'm more inclined to believe people are ignorant or stupid first, and then the other way is just, like, they just don't have the tools to deal with things the way that maybe I do, you know? You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Being told, nah, not a problem, just get over it, is so harmful. And it's no wonder, honestly, that as a result, you don't... I mean, I would argue that you do have emotions. I would just say that they're probably really buried or suppressed in a way where it's like, you subconsciously don't even engage with them. Like, you can't even be aware that they're there if you have these, like, perfected mechanisms to just be like, nope, don't care about that. It's so ingrained, you know? So, like, I have an issue with crying for that reason. Like, I don't cry very easily. And that's, like, a childhood abuse thing. But, like, so now it's like, I get so worked up over things, but I can't cry about them, and it's not healthy. So, yeah. Anyways, I got mega fucking off track, but I just kind of wish that people... I feel like things wouldn't be the way that they are, maybe, if more people engaged with their emotions and exercised empathy, you know? Maybe things would be a little bit better.
Do you really think there is no point in trying to make life better for everyone else?
No, that ain't it. You're right. It's good to care. I'm just saying, if you obsess over every single person you can't help, it's just gonna drive you mad.
Yeah. And this is a problem for me, you know? Like, I don't necessarily think it's good or productive to obsess over all the suffering people in the world when you can't do anything about it. I don't know. I mean, it's good. It is good to care. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
I'd rather be mad than sad.
Zhao sat up, a moment of silence, only broken by the noise of her stool hitting the floor. I also don't know how to engage with anger. Anger is not an emotion I was really allowed to feel much growing up. So, like, it's happening now. Like, I'm definitely dealing with a lot of intense anger as an adult, but I just don't know how to deal with it is the problem. I don't know what to do with that emotion. Which is, voice acting is awesome for this. I love, especially video games. Nothing is more cathartic than action Foley. Like getting into a booth and just screaming and pretending you're swinging heavy shit around and like wailing like you're gonna, like you've been stabbed in the gut, like doubling over. Like it's so cathartic. I love recording for horror stuff, especially being able to just scream at the top of my lungs. So nice. Fuck, wait, hang on. Did I actually read that or not? Oh, no, I did. Then she smiled. Fuck. Sorry, I'm so out of sorts. This is a problem with me, like, streaming this early in the day / late in the day for me, is that I'm, like, my meds have worn off by this point, and I'm, like, gonna wind down and go to bed soon. So I'm a little bit loopy and all over the place. We need to get you a soundproof booth. I wish. Soundproofing is actually, like, total soundproofing is kind of impossible for the everyman. My booth is dampened, but, like, it would be nice if it was soundproofed. I would love that. Like, soundproofed. I'd have to, if I owned this house, I would do that. I would have to, tear down the drywall and, like, actually build up soundproofing, like, in the structure of the house. But I can't do that. This isn't my house. With this, the goat headed out of the forge, leaving Adder equal parts confused and relieved at this change of heart. Okay. Well... Okay, I can scroll around. But I don't think I can actually select anything with the controller. No. Just wanted to check. So, I guess we're gonna go see Burbeth. Faraday cage, triple vault kind of thing. Yeah, I wish. That would be so sick. Q1 Burbeth of Askadath. Wandering about on the first floor with 100 different vials and receptacles sunk on to the bottom of a cube. And a very annoyed Adder carrying a desk of uncomfortably short distance, an uncomfortably short distance behind him, with his eye nailed to the blonde stag's neck.
Adder, friend, I appreciate that you've decided to assist me in setting up my workshop. I just wonder if you could do me the favor of walking a few steps behind.
Yeah, personal space, Adder, personal space. You know what? Reading the hit people consensually in the face thing. You know what I want to do? Have any of y'all ever done those places you can go and, like, break shit? I don't know. You have to pay. I don't know how much that costs, but, like... Because there have been many times I've gotten into, like, a really bad rage fit and I'm like, I can't express this anger. I wish I could just break something. And technically I could just go in the street and break things, but then I'd have to clean it up and I don't want to do that. But those things look fun. I don't know if any of y'all have ever tried it, what that's like.
You're gonna do something weird if I take my eye off you.
Why? Is that how little you trust me?
I mean, yeah. Can you really blame him? Adder's nostrils flared up.
I understand. Trust is earned, and there can exist nothing but suspicion in the absence of knowledge. Very well. I shall continue to employ your assistance throughout my job, so that you may see that I hold nothing but good intentions.
I don't doubt your intentions, Burbeth. I just doubt your methods. We have logs to split for when I need to do that. I don't think... I've split wood before, when I was a kid. We used to sell firewood. Nowadays, though, with my rotator cuff, I don't actually think I could swing an axe properly anymore. So, like, I mean, the stuff that I could be capable of doing without injuring myself would have to be, like, a right arm only activity, you know? Burbeth carefully placed a spread of tools, components, and notes across the table. Adder took his nose to each one of them.
Ooh, that smells strong. You making booze here?
Your instincts remain sharp as ever. Alcohol is indeed the solvent for this solution. Nothing too complex, of course. But I'd rather have good ventilation so as to avoid potentially lethal accumulations of toxic gas byproducts due to impurities.
Yeah, that's a good wisdom. That's a good wisdom.
I shall now proceed to mix in the solute. Hand me the magnesium.
Do the magnesium what now?
Oh, I say it all the time, but I love Adder's voice actors so much. Oh yeah, stonemasonry. I could probably do one-handed. Hold the chisel with the bad one. Yeah. I could get totally jacked on just this arm.
No, not manganese. Magnesium. Read the labels carefully.
Adder shoved his right eye in front of the label, then he pushed his eye patch against it, just to make a show of it. He can't read.
Carefully or not, I can't read a thing.
My poor boy.
Oh, I suppose that would pose quite the impediment to keeping you as an assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought as much. No worries. I'll watch from the corner and stay out of your hair.
Are you not interested in learning to read?
I was literally gonna say, like, I know it's not the pressing issue right now, but it's like, you could learn. It's harder when you're older, I know, but you could.
I mean, sure. I'd love to learn to read someday. But who'd ever waste time teaching a poor, thick-skulled hick how to work the squiggly ink lines, you know?
I could teach you.
Are you for real?
Of course! Raising the levels of literacy across the kingdom is one of my lifelong goals. It's the entire reason I decided to abandon my homestead in favor of joining the Great Academy of Heirloom, in fact. Though my father would not have had it in life, I always dreamt of becoming a professor. And given that the future of my title is uncertain, to say the least, the most attainable route would be to start the change I want to see, person by person.
See, this is the kind of shit that makes me be like, all right, Burbeth. You're all right. You're all right. I'm about it.
You shall be learning with me as much as I shall be learning with you, my friend.
I don't know what to say, Bearbeth. Thank you.
And then we can work side by side on building a new body. Better than the old one never was.
That's not what we're doing, Burbeth.
I take it all back.
Oh, fuck. Illigrab's here. Well, teaching, especially, I know that when you're older, it's so much more difficult to learn certain skills, especially when it comes to literacy and language. So, like, it could be really frustrating, maybe. I don't know. I've only ever taught children. Yeah, because of neuroplasticity, correct. I'm not very good at articulating my points. I don't know if y'all noticed. So I don't make for a great teacher. I've had experience in teaching a little group of kids cursive once, and that was like that's it for me. Like, it was hard. Rewarding. I get why people like to do it. It was very rewarding, but teaching is a very it's a skill. It's a skill. We should really be paying our teachers more. The way I learned 5 languages, ages 1 to 15, and I've been trying to improve any in the last 10. I know, right? Like, I'm proud of myself for the progress I've made. Oh, hi, Gotcha Man! I'm proud of the progress that I've been making recently in picking Japanese back up, because I've been self-teaching myself Japanese. I've never had access to formal teaching, so I've been teaching myself Japanese since I was in middle school, and it was like learning hiragana and katakana when I was a kid was fucking easy. Like, I never forgot how to do it. Like, my hiragana and katakana is fluent. Like, it's never been a problem. And then I learned like 50 kanji, and then it kind of just stayed there for a long time. And now it's like, I think kanji wise, I'm at like 140, 130 or something like that. But it's like, if I don't get back on it for like a week or something, like, I've already forgotten a bunch. So like, And it's because like kanji, everyone says is super hard, but it makes sense to me. Like kanji actually really makes sense to me when you learn, oh God, help me. The components that make up the individual kanji. Do you have the kanji flavored autism? Radicals, thank you. Yes, radicals. Wanikani. Oh fuck, hang on. Let me add that to my thing. My flavor of autism is like in a bunch of places. Like, I say that it's difficult for brain to like solidify things, but I did teach myself over the past year all 422 houses of Westeros. I can name them all. So, I have some pretty niche flavors of autism. Hang on, I'm looking up Anikani so I don't forget, because I will. I'm the pattern recognition ism. Nice, nice, nice. Wait. Don't get distracted, Kemi. Do the thing. I have a few, the thing I'm the happiest with is that, even though it included, furigana, I read my first manga entirely in Japanese really slowly. And I was like, yay, I did it! Or at least all the chapters that I could find. Oh no, is Wanikani like, iOS specific thing? Because I'm not seeing it. That would make me sad. No? Why isn't it showing up in the store? Oh, browser! Okay, well then I'll just leave it up in a tab so that I remember to use it later. Okay, good. Wanikani. Yeah, thank you. And I was using, I was using Duolingo for a little while, which I do not... First of all, Duolingo has been getting into doing, like, laying off workers and using AI instead lately, so drop them like a hot potato. But it's not a good app for really learning anyway. I just was using it for a while because Jeremy was using it. Because he wants to learn. He doesn't know much Japanese at all. On Android, it's Flaming Turtles once you have an... Oh, I did see that one. Okay, well, I'll look into... Thank you, by the way, and I will look into that. Anyways. Maybe the caffeine will chill me the fuck out. Oh, my getting all over the place. I'm so sorry for people that, like, come in here and expect, like, non-broken up gameplay. I can't help it, man. That's how caffeine works, right? It does for my ADHD brain. Because I'm all over the place. Also, what's up, Butterstuff? Fuck, my hair is every fucking where. For a rather understandable reason, Sep was not particularly fond of talking about her powers. She was never clear on where exactly their limits lay. I am curious about that, actually. She didn't consider herself a Sephi, be it out of a misplaced sense of humility or perhaps even superiority. But Servine society would surely have branded her so. That's interesting, because I would think by definition she would be considered a Sephi. I wonder. Even so, Adder had known for a long time now that the Sep he was used to was just one of many forms of being far beyond his comprehension. Well, not a long time, no. It'd just been a little over a moon since the day she branded him, really. Not that much time has passed. That's pretty crazy. Expecting anything other than ADHD mess is a mistake in the stream. I mean, you're right. It's just like, I've known people have been like, because like I stream with Sid all the time, and me and Sid will get into conversations and not play the game for like an hour straight. But like, it's not Sid, guys, it's me. It's me. The Duolingo AI thing is hilarious. My girlfriend was using it for Korean and German, and literally overnight they stopped making any sense. Yeah, it already wasn't good for Japanese. I didn't actually notice much of a difference, but it doesn't matter. It wasn't very good anyway. Like, it just... a lot of formal Japanese learning apps, well, they're way too formal. Like, they don't... I don't really vibe... Something about the way that they teach doesn't really vibe so much with me. I actually follow a couple YouTubers that I've made more progress in understanding Japanese by watching their videos than doing interactions on apps. And if y'all want, in the Discord later, I'll drop links to those channels because they're very good and I can't recommend them enough. Yeah, the problem is looking at Japanese and comparing the way that it's structured to being like, it's like this in English, but this way. And it's like, that's not a way to look at it. It doesn't work for Japanese. Anyway, the game. Playing the game, streamer. It felt like the longest couple moons in Adder's life, now that time had turned the worst days of his past into a distant blur. Whispers. Adder was most certain that he was hearing someone whispering nearby. His mind played this trick on him every so often, usually when he was about to fall asleep. He'd hear voices of random people he'd met during the day. Sometimes they were casual conversations. Sometimes they were so terrifying he found himself unable to leave his bed. Oh no! It's like, is it sleep paralysis where people have stuff like that? I've experienced this during psychosis, where I think I hear random people talking. It was really scary. I did not like it. Don't recommend. Ah! But no, he was pretty sure this was a real person in the forge. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Especially after he heard the metal plank being ripped out of the wall it'd been nailed to.
Ah,
Oh.
Adam. Sorry to startle you, lad. I was just trying to catch Sep's attention. I have a few questions for her about her latest temper tantrum. Lots of loose ends on this one. Don't worry, I'll put the metal cover thingy back where it was when I'm done.
I actually forgot that this scene initially was to speak with Illigrab. Whoops. Yeah. The more I look at Japanese, the more I feel like as a language, it follows its own rules and makes more sense than English ever could. English is fucking whack. English is fucking whack, y'all. Yeah. Tune in your Ace Attorney streams, which are like 30% gameplay and 70% tangential conversations. I appreciate that we have, like, over time, y'all have, like, gravitated here for that. Like, I love... Otherwise, I would just play the game by myself and not stream it. Like, I do like having these tangent conversations with y'all. I just know that when I get this scatterbrained, it can get a little out of hand. And sometimes I'll watch back a VOD and it'll be like, come on, Kemi, what the fuck are you talking about? Can you please you haven't played the game in like 20 minutes. Can you please? Adder's jaw dropped.
You knew?
Knew what? That she was here with you? It was obvious, really. No inn in this city could cater to her standards of living, so the next best thing she could hope for is good company. Right?
Wait, am I nuts? Hasn't Illigrab actually visited us in the Forge once before? Or am I thinking about a previous chapter?
No, I'm kidding. I saw her the other day when I dropped by.
Okay. Thank you. I'm not crazy.
Well, how did you know that was her?
Oh, that's easy. Illigrab turned his head toward the fire in the pit, and then back to Adder, confused. He stared emptily. Emptily? That's a word. Yeah, it is a word, but my brain can't. Kemi.exe has encountered an issue and needs to shut down. Wondering what could the boy possibly be talking about. Until at last he connected all the dots.
Ah, I see. It's happening again.
His brow sagged down into an expression of pure pity. Perhaps more for Adder than Sep.
I heard about, well, I wasn't there the night it happened. One of the darkest hours in Heirloom's history, and the full truth will only ever be known by 3 people. 2 of them died as a result, and the other one lost herself in her own mind.
Yeah, we know.
The only man who knew how to fix it could only be convinced by the woman who had the least reason to help. The whole case was an enigma in its own right.
It is interesting that Raoul was advocating for Sepp in that moment, all things considered.
I've always wondered what in the world it was that Raoul said to get Pert.
Me too.
Guess we'll never know now.
Yep, we'll never know. Yeah, English is 3 languages in a trench coat. That is like the best way to think about it. It's true. Wait, what are the implications of you think Igai did it? I want... Oh man, I actually don't know which one I want to pick here. Fuck. Okay, I kind of want to know.
You really think it was a guy that did it? Goff always ends up ranting about it when he's drunk. And says you didn't get the right guy. But his pa was innocent.
We found evidence that Igai had stormed out of the Rose after a huge altercation, minutes before the fire started. But I can only imagine what he could have done to prompt the explosion. Sepp was such a good kid back then. She never would have hurt someone without a reason. If he was guilty of Thar's death specifically, and the fire followed suit, or if her death was caused by the fire as a result of something else he'd done, the world still lost an abusive drunkard the following morning. I'm not happy I contributed, but I am glad he's gone.
Hillegrab stared at the forge with a vacant expression. He ran a finger through his mustache, pondering many matters beyond the situation at hand.
No matter how close my family gets to deer, we're still plants. And plants don't wonder if the fire is alive, or what god hangs a sun up in the sky every morning. They don't need to think about who keeps water flowing down the river, or who makes the clouds float. They just exist.
Bars.
I wish I could shut my thoughts out like that sometimes. Just 5 minutes, you know? Sounds kind of amazing.
Right? Fuck. Just back to the conversation we had earlier. Just would be nice. Just for a little bit.
Doesn't it? Oh, to be a tiny flower dancing in the wind, basking in the afternoon showers and glowing in the sun. Never once wondering the meaning of right and wrong.
Hillegrab ended his short poetic streak with a comparatively small, compassionate smile.
I'm sure you have a lot of questions. But I'm afraid I don't really have anything to offer other than my deepest assurance that she'll be back stronger. The sun rises, whether we want it to or not. Take good care of her until then.
Man, I kind of love, just by itself, the sentence, the sun rises whether we want it to or not. I kind of like it. Hillegrab marched away, unsure of what else to say. There he go. Hey, Yoff, there he is. Adder heard a rustling in the forge. He half opened his eye, finding a short silhouette slinking around with his cane in tow.
Marina? You wish.
Gyoff shoved the crook of the staff into Adder's hand.
Bard. What's wrong?
What isn't? Beasts, guards, gazelles! Ugh. I don't know who'll get to us first, but we're not going to stick around and wait.
It's my philosophy that I'll be alive and walking and the sun will rise another day. It's true. The world keeps on turning. No matter what. Gyoff tugged the cane back, trying to help Adder get up, only to feel a yank from the other end.
Know my answer, Bard.
It wasn't a question. 'Twas in order.
I do love Gyoff. Gyoff fell back on his shield, narrowly avoiding the hammer that he accidentally launched into the air. Oh, fuck.
I can't leave until Sepp is...
Don't you dare try that with me again. I'm done with your excuses. If you want to lose your head so badly, you can go and lose it on your own.
Oh yeah, then why are you here?
We don't have to do this again. Hey! Yolf. Yolf! Please. I don't want to lose you too.
It's like if you really didn't care, you would have been gone a long time ago. Cause you bitch. I can't believe that people don't get how queer he is. Like, it still baffles my mind the way that people don't see how queer everyone in this game is. Name one straight character in this game. You can't.
Tough cheese.
Yoth vanished into the night. No, come back, come back, come back. Oh, fuck. Did I fuck it up?
He had a...
I meant to talk to
a
him.
little swollen.
I don't think I've had an opportunity to interact with him before now, have I? Did I miss it? Shit. Maybe he'll be back. He's a bitch, so he might be back. It's like, I don't feel like you could have been any more... Well, no, you could have been more heavy-handed, but it would have been, like, ham-fisted if you were any more, like... It's so obvious that he's gay as fuck.
Yeah, it's the season, you know? Allergies and all. I'll be fine. Let's just get the day started.
Okay, what are we doing? Oh, fuck. You can't make me pick between these two again. Oh, no. Fuck. People who don't get Gyoff is very gay for Adder. He's very gay in general. Like, that also, but just very gay in general. The bathhouse? Hello? I don't understand. They've talked many times about him leaving places hand in hand with some other dude. Like, come on. They just like, I pretend I do not see it. Am I gonna regret this? I feel like I want to see Eka, but I don't want to fuck it up. I hope I don't miss the opportunity to see him again. Go with Eka, okay. I was like, I'm gonna do it and just deal with the consequences. Listen to your heart. Oh, fuck. I just hope I don't regret it. I'm doing my best to be like, I doubt that I'll get a perfect run my first playthrough. I'm sure I've already fucked it up somehow, but I want very badly to, like, do all the right things. Adder, whose brain had a limited capacity for pre-planning and general task organization. Hey, me too! Let's go! Unable to plan King. Spent a good long while thinking about what to do with his day. Big mood. After much pacing around the forge, thinking about what the best course of action would be, his gaze finally fell on the silent smith accompanying him. Perhaps he could afford to be a little more proactive in checking in on his in-laws.
Wait, hold on. Is this a suggestion of the implication that Adder thinks they are together now, therefore confirming ain't Adder canon?
No, it's a throuple. I just wanted a cheeky description. But, sure. Sep a natter cannon. Yes, let's go!
Oh, yuck. Terrible name for an OT3. Let's just call them the trio for now.
The fact that Lynn actually said the word OT3... My little fanfic writing high school fucking heart, I just did backflips. Fair enough. But that doesn't account for any future additions to the group.
You wouldn't dare! You are drunk with power!
Where were we?
Captain, you round?
I'm seconds away from writing the word lemon anywhere. Don't you dare. You are drunk with power! Hey, what's up? I don't know how to say your name. Zanuck? Is that okay? How's it going?
Oh. Hey, Bon.
I forgot about this scene. Adder feared the worst when he heard something crackle within her mouth. till he saw the bucket of snails on the table. What was I eating during this? I don't remember.
Oh, hey, you're eating snails.
Chips?
Yeah, man. He's back a punch. Sun wolves on a trip lake. Oh.
I don't remember this.
You want to try?
And you lost that audio and you had to eat something different. Why am I don't remember this at all for some reason. My brain is like melted, I guess. Zanuck is correct. Nice, nice, nice. I was like, it was probably Doritos or something. I don't know.
I'm good. I just came today to ask if you knew what's the deal with Aina. She hasn't been herself since she came back.
No, it was corn nuts. I remember now. I got them from like the gas station down the street, which is the most southern thing I think I've ever said.
Self, no self, to control the self, to defeat the self that is not the self. Man, my big sis has it rough.
Big sis? She's your senior then?
Oh, okay, I remember this now.
Senior. She's a senior, no doubt. But you already knew that, didn't you? You don't look very surprised.
I'm used to that sort of stuff. When one's got 3 little brothers and they all look 10 years older than him when their horns are just starting to sneak out of their skulls, he just kind of stops trying to guess at ages.
I want to know more about Adder's family. I remember being like shocked that I was like, oh, he has brothers. I want to know like what his brothers are like and his ma and pa. I want to see them. I want to know all about them.
Knowing she's the older sister now, I think that's why we get along so well. We're both used to taking care of everyone around us. She takes care of me, and I try to do what I can to take care of her at least.
Mm-hmm. She's special like that. I mean, caring isn't exactly how I would describe our image of a role model, but Aina's never given a single damn about what the pack wanted at all.
So, Aina is a...
Nope.
You sure about that?
Eka scratched the back of her ear. It seemed as if she was trying to find a polite way to answer a completely ridiculous question.
What do you know about us, Bones?
I know y'all eat deer.
I read the encyclopedia, so, I mean...
Right, I thought as much. The pack was sent to the world with a purpose, and it was made as the Howling Winds thought we were meant to be. We were not made to last, and we were not made to grow. In other words, Baitat was the fun guy, wanting toys that last. But we know we were an afterthought. Aimai made creatures he didn't truly want to keep in his world.
You know what this reminds me of a little? And I don't know whether or not, because I think we had like the discussion about Lord of the Rings or whatever in Discord once, because it was like, I have such a complicated relationship with Lord of the Rings. Because it's like, I like it, but also I don't really over time. But like, it reminds me a little bit of how the story of how the dwarves were made a bit. Like, oh, I'm gonna go off on a huge fucking tangent if I go in any detail about that. But if you read the Silmarillion, which I have, like the creation story regarding how, oh no, why am I not remembering the name of the fucking god? Aule. Yes, thank you. Yeah. The way that Aule created the dwarves. Because they weren't fully sentient beings exactly. Because Aule didn't really exactly know what he was doing. Something about that reminds me a little bit of... Aimai gives Aule vibes a little bit, is what I'm saying. It's not the same at all, but I'm just saying it reminds me of that.
The way we see it, the souls we were given were all the souls we'd ever have. So, the pack gave each soul a name, to make sure we wouldn't lose them. When the deer fought us, we lost many souls. Our mission could not be completed. Until the pack found that they could make more of us. More flesh bags, but not more souls, surely.
Why not?
Beats me. I can tell you exactly how to make a litter, but not how to give them a soul.
Huh. I never thought about that. I mean, we kind of just, and there's a fawn, and we're pretty sure it's made whole.
Oh. They were puppets of stone initially, which also sounds familiar. Yeah, it's interesting. It is a very Christian thing. Exactly, which is like the Silmarillion, at least the Allindale, is based off of, it's a very biblical, it's very Christian inspired. So like you get elements of the Bible throughout the whole first chunk of the Silmarillion. So so yeah. Makes total sense.
Grazers sure spend a lot more time making litters than thinking about them. We have a more structured approach to bringing new life, to put it one way.
It also gives a little bit of like the Children of the Forest a bit, if you are familiar with the Song of Ice and Fire lore, outside of the HBO show that didn't engage with that shit at all.
Our years are cut into seasons for litter making, and weaning as well. The cycle starts when all the packs gather their cubs. It doesn't matter if there's war or peace, or what species they are, we're all lumped together, and the names are revealed to us. But I am different. I am Eka, Tessica, for it was the Baron called Tess Pertok who named me and gave me a soul. I am always a wolf, and I am sister to Tessena, for it is my duty to listen to and take care of her, furthering the name of our pack.
I have to ask, do we get more? I don't remember if we get more into Pertok in later scenes or not, because there's stuff that I've been made aware of about like the initial relationship of the original Eka and Pertok and Aina, and I'm like, this stuff is so cool and interesting, but I don't know whether or not it came up in the game or not. I love Pertok. I'm a Pertok defender, and I'll die on that hill. Eka twirled a snail shell around between her fingers, watching its pale, bleached shell. Adder was thoroughly confused by that last explanation, but what little he did understand brought forth a peculiar question to his mind. We didn't get much into him. Wait for me to make a whole new game or DLC or something about it all. Dude, I was like, when you told me all that stuff, I was just like, dude, this shit is so badass. I like went from being a bit harsh towards Pertok to being like, nah, I'm ride or die for this guy in like the span of 10 minutes. Me opening up RPG Maker, game making. Yo, I love RPG Maker. That's the only program I ever actually learned how to use really well. Like, I don't know shit about programming, but I learned RubyScript specifically to do stuff in RPG Maker. I did so much stuff in RPG Maker. And I love RPG Maker games, by the way. I never finished anything I ever was working on, but like, RPG Maker games are some of my favorites.
What was Aina like as a cub?
I don't know. Just like this, I'd bet. Absent and self-absorbed. Too angry to dance to the beat of any drum but her own. She's been the same since long before Eka came to be.
I would love to see more of Aina, like prequel stuff, like Aina, like an older version of like back in the day what Aina was like and stuff. We get a little glimpse of it in some of Sep's memories, but I'm so interested in the idea of like Pertok and Eka, like the original Eka and Aina, I don't know, doing pirate shit or whatever. Like I'm so into that idea in my mind. There's so much there. I'm like, oh, you could make stuff if you wanted to.
You mean before you were born?
There's a lot that could be done with this world, honestly. Like, the world you've built here is so lush and full of potential. There's so many avenues of storytelling that you could take outside of this one specific thing that's happening.
In a way, yes.
Eka stretched out her arms in an exaggerated fashion.
Man, that was a whole lot of nothing, Snails always get me like this. Hey, not to scare you or anything, but you should probably get going. All this rambling really opens up my appetite.
Ooh. A little bit. It's so weird to be like that about my own voice. I guess that's weird, but like, God, I love Eka. I wish I was as cool as Eka in real life. Which is funny because Eka wishes that she was as cool as she comes off. Ugh. Yeah, an Eka pirate game would be so good. That and it's like there's so much. It's why I mean, I'm so weak for stories that are. I love world building more than anything else. So if you've created a world where it's like the story just kind of falls into place in the world, but like it feels right within the world, but the world exists as its own thing. That's why I love A Song of Ice and Fire so much. The world feels so full, and you could tell so many stories in it. And it's like, I feel the same way about this world. I'm thinking about like, Basaksarath, you know, like, like old, or like the north, like where Zhao comes from. Like, I'm so interested in all these places, like what's going on in them, what kind of people live there, what are their stories like, what are they doing, you know, like so interesting. And I love pirates, I do, so like the idea of an Eka pirate game is like, yes. At last, horny. I'm glad that my phone sex operator impersonation has come in handy. At last. At last. There was something about the library which never failed to spook at her. It felt older than the temple, 1,000 times more important than any gods that may have taken up residence in it. And yet, here he was, wasting its grandness, one letter at a time.
Let's try it again then. What is this letter?
He's doing it!
That's an A?
Not quite. Once more.
And I?
Try to look at the shapes more closely. If A has little horns above and I has ears, which one had a tail?
Adder dragged his hand from his face up to his hair, pulling at his bangs. He trembled slightly, glaring at the letter so hard that it seemed as if he was trying to absorb it directly through his pupil. That's how you learn. The stag's patience, boundless for so many other parts of his life, quickly ran out. He pushed the book away.
This is useless. Give it up already. We both got a whole lot of bitter stuff to do right now.
Frustration is an unavoidable part of learning. You will have to suffer the horrors of being unskilled before you can ever become a master, my friend.
Yeah, this is a weak spot for me, too. I feel like this is also the neurospicy in me that's just like, if I'm not instantly good at something, I'm just like, this is impossible.
No, you gotta have your head screwed on right for that. I ain't never been good at learning. I ain't gonna start at my age.
Yes, you will. I'm firmly convinced the reason adults have more trouble learning than children is their conviction that they cannot do so anymore. Beyond any physiological changes to the structure of our heart's learning glandule, of course.
I mean, neuroplasticity is a thing, but also, that is a part of it. Attitude does go a long way. I was raised to be too perfect for this bullshit is my own flavor of that. Yeah. Well, and I was raised with a lot of ADHD or autistic people like burn out easily because they're like the gifted kid, you know, in school or whatever. And then like once they're out in the real world, they just burn the fuck out. I never had that. I failed at everything. When I was a sophomore, I think I've told this story before. When I was a sophomore in high school, I made the decision that I was like, I'm just gonna stop trying and see if anything happens, because no matter how hard I try, I just don't do well, and I get terrible grades, so I'm just gonna stop trying. And there was no difference in my grades when I stopped trying. That was devastating. And so, like, for a while, I actually almost dropped out. I'm glad I didn't, but I graduated, like, a semester late. So yeah, I did not thrive in the school systems here that we have. I didn't have anybody, like, any extra help. I wasn't in any, like, because I didn't really understand that I have a learning disability. Like, I didn't really understand that. So, like, I just kind of floated by. And now I'm like, if I'm bad at things, that it kicks in my brain of being like, you'll never be good at anything, so stop trying, you know? Unless I'm good at it right away. And then I'm like, oh, I get it. I'm gonna keep doing this. Makes me feel good. I was unable to pay attention in a single lesson. Yeah, nothing ever stuck. I mean, I have auditory processing issues, and, it's kind of like, the only thing that really helps me is I have insanely good muscle memory, so, sometimes, like, writing stuff over and over will help, or, what's that shit, like, the whole mind palace recollection thing, where it's like, if you attach something to a fact or something, you can recall it. Sometimes that works, maybe, but, like, mostly I'm good with my hands. If I can make something, I'm good at constructing things, making things, creating things with my hands. When it comes to recalling things in my brain, not so good. Yeah. And, you know, like, I never tested well, because it's like, you've got to sit still and, like, focus on reading what's in front of you, and it's like, there's nothing there. I was always good at physical skills, I guess. Not like sports. I'm not athletic by any means, but, like, you know, I'm an artist. I draw, I write, I sing, I play instruments, I have a great ear. Sewing came so easily to me when I got into learning the trade. So, like, I was a tailor's assistant for many years, up until recently, and so, like, sewing is good. I'm good at that. I'm a damn good seamstress. And just now I'm getting into doing animation and acting. And so, like, I'm good at the crafting and making stuff. But I'm so bad at all the other things. I never learned long division, and I've tried so many times to teach myself. I, like, slipped through the cracks there with school. So, like, math is such a weak spot for me, especially because I flip numbers in my head. So, even though I'm really good at sewing, I'm not very good at patterning, because blocking and patterning requires a lot of math. So I'm not very good at that, but otherwise. But yeah, that shit's not important when you're in school, so I did terribly. So I got a fucking complex now, where it's just like, if I'm not good at it, then I guess I'll never be good at it, so I give up. And I'm working really hard to get over that, because it's not a very productive attitude to have. You gotta keep trying.
I must admit that I cannot quite understand how a man of your curiosity and ingenuity would fail to encounter a chance to learn in his infancy, however. Was your village not equipped with some form of school? A learned man of sorts, perhaps?
Learned? Sure, we got plenty. There was a wandering doctor that dropped by once a moon. My bro Betta never got good health, so he was always writing up recipes for the apothecary next town over.
Oh! We got a name! I have a complex of I can't finish it in a day, I'm shit. Oh, I do that too. But also, it's mostly a thing where it's like, I forget. I'll run out of steam and put projects aside and not finish them ever, so... Yeah, and I also have a bit of a thing with people telling me I'm too slow. So, like, if I'm slow at something, I get more and more anxious about it. I'm good at sowing the seeds of love. Hey. It's a sex joke, I think.
Then you got the merchants that stayed at the inn where my little bro Hosu helped out. Those could read and write, and Hosu was always begging him to teach him. But no one ever stayed enough to see that through. And I almost forgot the monk over at the Eremite for our mountain god. That one couldn't read, but he could recite every single lawn prayer from memory. So he worked as the town judge. He was always scolding our youngest, Yoa.
Ah!
My brother's got plenty of chances to run around and get in trouble, see? But I was the eldest, so I had to stay home to lay the field and shepherd bushes to the stream and back. All one learns to read out there is the clouds.
And see, like, that is a skill too, is like, you know, fucking farming is hard fucking work. I can't, never mind farming, I can't even grow a goddamn plant. I've killed succulents, guys. Like,
Don't you resent your siblings for it?
Adder linked his hands behind his neck and threw his head back, thinking for a moment.
Nah, I'm happy for him if anything. Even back when I got plenty of time to spare, I guess I just didn't feel like learning. It is what it is, right? Pa always said that nothing good would come out of knowing more than one oughta.
It's also not very good to resent your siblings for that anyway, because it's not like it's their fault that they got to go around and do stuff, you know? I was just taught that quality is directly proportional to the speed of completion. See, that's a thing that people taught me growing up, but something that I learned very quickly when I got into tailoring and sewing that is so not true, because I've worked not sweatshops, but kinda sweatshops, like assembly line work, where it's like, it doesn't matter how good it looks, it just matters how quickly you can do it. That shit drives me nuts, because I'm the opposite. I can't work assembly because I can't put a piece away. I can't stop something or like pass something off as being like, it's good enough. It needs to be up to my standards, which takes me much longer. So the last job I had as a tailor's apprentice was great for me because the tailor I was mentoring under, he was like, I don't care how long it takes you to do a thing. It just needs to be quality because we only put out quality work. And I was like, fuck yeah. He was one of the best tailors I've ever known in my life. I learned a lot from him. Oh hell yeah, have fun in your stream. Oh my god, you're playing Sonic Adventure, that's right. Hell yeah. Yeah, I can't, yeah. Working faster is inevitably just gonna make... Oh, don't worry. I don't know how long the stream is even going to be. I'm gonna go a little longer, but this is technically the end of the day for me, so I do need to go to bed sometime soon. But yeah. Have fun playing Sonic Adventure. And, you know, I keep all my VODs backed up, so don't worry about it. Will it crash? Who knows?
I find that there's nothing more terrifying than ignorance, for it is comforting like nothing else in this world. It cannot be cured by anything less than the will to fix it, and it can never be recovered once lost.
I am a firm believer in this too, that it's like, even though I was bad at school and whatever, it's like, I love learning, and I think it's important to try to not be ignorant as much as possible. I get ignorance is bliss or whatever, and this goes into being like, God, I wish that I could be, but because, you know, more knowledge, more problems, am I right? But like, I think it's our responsibility to combat ignorance at every turn, you know?
Oh boy, that's real philosophical of you, Burbeth.
Oh, truly! I could bring some of my thesis on Thorfo's dialectical work for you to peruse next time. Perhaps that shall help open your mind to the fleeting nature of the flesh and illuminate you on the need to transcend your friend's mortal body.
No, let's not do that.
You almost got it right this time, bud.
Almost. So close. One of my tutors asked me how long part of a project I had 10 months to finish took me, and I said I had probably 60 hours in that piece. He showed me something he made and said it took him less than 8 hours, which probably what set my foundation of speed is greater than everything, and now I can build stuff really well and really fast. Yeah, well, speed comes with repetitiveness. You know, like, I got faster at sewing over time because I was doing the same things over and over and over and over. You get faster as you get more used to doing it, when you get the hang of it. But, it's important to take that time. Yeah, experience enable that speed. It's important to take time to do things slowly and properly first, which I don't feel like we have a lot of space to maneuver with that in this fucking capitalistic hellscape that we live in. But, oh, there's Gelf! There he is! But yeah, I'm firmly a believer in that.
I'm gonna get stabbed.
Get it right first and then get faster. My controller just vibrated and I don't know why. I have no idea why. Adder had spent a good long while thinking about what exactly he should wear as he foolishly made his inglorious re-entrance back in Slander. Nightly? Going to get stabbed. Casual poor? Going to get stabbed and reported to the authorities for quantifiable sum. Those were, alas, his only two options. If nothing else, he had his trusty staff at hand to pretend he meant business. Not the greatest choice either, as the local wealth redistributors tended to take flagrant attempts at self-defense as quite the insult. But for tonight, at least, he'd made it safely. Adder was back in his old, empty house. God, it feels like forever since we've been here.
Yoff! You in there, Bard? Guess it's already go.
Huh? The dull end of a knife staggered past Adder. The buck managed to flatten himself defensively just in time.
Bard! What the hell are you doing?
Yoff blinked a couple times, and then rubbed the sleep out of his eyes.
Adder, it's just you. Don't think you can just drop by unannounced these days, you tactless flea bag. I thought someone was trying to get me.
Darn right I'm trying to get you. To come back, I mean. I thought you'd be out of the city by now. What are you doing here?
Told you. Told you.
Well, I just couldn't leave without... Isn't it obvious? I'm trying not to get myself killed.
Mm-hmm. Is this your first full playthrough, by the way? Yes. I mean, I'm familiar with parts of the script that I participated in, but this is my first time playing through Chapter 5, yes.
In Slander?
Not that it makes much of a difference anymore, but at least I'm not surrounding myself with a death cult like you are.
We're not a death cult.
I thought you wanted to help with your sister, too.
She's got enough help to last her a lifetime. Let me live the years that remain of mine in peace.
Just making sure to avoid spoilers. I have some. The parts of the script that I'm very well aware of are really crucial endgame parts, so I know a lot about some of the very end of the game. But there's a lot of gaps in between. Like, I don't know this scene.
Alrighty then. I'll go find someone else to bother.
What? Just like that? You aren't even going to try and change my mind? I can't believe you do this to me!
Motherfucker.
Turn in and sought after only as you see fit!
I fucking love Gyoff. I love and hate him. Like, he's so fucking obnoxious, but also, this little guy...
Yoff, I came here to try and convince you. You don't want to be convinced? I'm not gonna force you.
Of course! Now that you have all these nice underlings who kiss the ground you tread on, you're too good for little old me! Can't bear to spend 2 minutes around Gyoff, son of a guy, when he is the one suffering!
Gyoff, please. I've played through like 4 times. Oh, okay. Then, fuck, I can't remember the king's name. Fuck. I know the scene with him, like all the stuff that can happen during that. Isifik. Thank you. that whole part and some of the endings, very aware of. But the stuff before this, like all this in-between stuff, I don't know a lot of this. I'm sure that I did skim over the whole script at one point, but my memory is not great. So I've forgotten a lot. I've forgotten scenes I'm in. I was like going through, I was like, I don't remember recording this. Adder took a long, heavy sigh. He crouched down to meet Gyop's eye level and then spoke.
It ain't that I can't. I choose not to. I don't gotta put up with you anymore.
Tell him, Adder, tell him.
What? How dare you? After I gave you a home and a job and...
You kicked me out of here. I got sacked just last week. And Batot knows the only thing you've ever given me for dinner is trouble.
Bars.
Try to guilt me on that one.
What a line. Oh my god. Tell him, Adder.
There. You got your 2 minutes. Talk to me when you've cooled your head enough to stop being a tailhole.
Oh. Wait a minute. I know that antler shape. That looks like Elbar. And Telegram? The dreams. The dreams chased Adder that night. He dreamt of a silhouette behind a curtain and a howling in the wind.
Why are they still at large? Do they pretend to defy us again?
Not Telegram. This is the first time I've heard Isafik's voice.
We are working relentlessly to
no, it
find the
is.
culprit behind the attacks, my king.
The culprit. You will not find a single creature responsible. It is all of them. They cover for each other with lies and deceit. One bad apple is all it takes.
Oh, I love how deep it is.
My king! I understand your anger. I too wish I could put manacles on every peasant in the kingdom. But it's not like I could just explicitly order anyone arrested on the grounds of being Baron.
I don't know if... it's probably not his fault. My ear started ringing. Bruh.
Wherefore?
My king.
You have explicit permission from the highest authority in this world, and all to come to do as you must. If a plague befalls a garden, it stands to reason it should be contained before it consumes all that is good.
What is that accent? It's really interesting.
Your orders, my king?
Have all of them bow to us, or annihilate them all.
I really like it.
Pests may be a crime upon the beauty of Dakna, but it is hardly one worth capital punishment, your majesty.
We shall be the judge of...
My king, I urge you to reconsider!
Oh, a glacial silence took over the entire room.
The heir to the house of Askelath would do well to learn his turn to speak, or he will learn to follow in his father's footsteps.
The knight groveled.
You are the arm that moves to realize our thoughts. If our will is that you crush the pests that plague our kingdom, crush them you will.
Yes, my king.
Such an interesting voice. I really like it.
You have much to learn, Captain. You will see one day. Sympathy is the tool the weak use to bide their time.
You know what it reminds me of a little bit? It's giving like a little bit of George Takei. Just a little. And I love it. Adder's whole body seemed to be thrust forward as if expelled from his dream. Startled and not quite yet awake, Adder swiveled his head around, looking for a threat that didn't exist. Oh, hey, girl! He's a Spanish voice actor. I was wondering, I was like, I'm not as super duper like, sometimes I can be way off base when picking out accents, and usually, like, I wouldn't peg Spanish right away, but I mean, like, working with Max long enough, I was just kind of like, the accent reminds me a little bit, because Maxie's Spanish, so I was like, it reminds me a little bit of Maxie's accent, but I wasn't totally sure. But the George Takei comes from like certain the base of it for certainty, but it's a certain way of a certain cadence, the way that certain words are like reveled in. If you're familiar with George Takei's works, like in the way that he can speak in some of his roles, but yeah, I really really like it. All he found was Aina's lilac eyes, seemingly staring right through him. Eder plopped down on his pile of coal. Oh. Interesting. Eka is, like, grayed out. So now I guess I don't really have a chance, but to... Or a choice, but to go, Fuck. Hang on. It's still there, but I'm pretty sure that it's just like I already did that, so there's no point in going back. At least I hope that's what that means. Oh, we're going to see Zhao. Okay. With each casual conversation he translated, Adder came to appreciate more and more how honest as a person Zhao was. I really love the speeches that Zhao's given, by the way. Like, just personally, I really love the sentiment, and also just, like, writing-wise, I think this is really good stuff from Maxie. Like, really good. Also, hang on, I haven't saved in a minute. So, we're just gonna... save. Okay. The times where she thought one thing and had Adder say another were few and far between. And they always seemed to happen around women. He knew that feeling well. Much like the majority of the temple's populace, Adder didn't understand the intricacies of the cult of Hirib. It seemed, however, that prayer this particular morning was required to take place inside the temple premises. Zhao performed a series of cleansing rituals, the meaning of which seemed impossible to translate without further context. Adder could only echo fragments of intention out of everything Zhao thought and said.
Now, we cup our hands and bring them to our chests. Picture your heart in them. Imagine that you hold every worry and every blessing. Feel the weight of your pain. Now lift them up towards the sky so that the sun may dispel these shades.
Once satisfied with her prayer, Zhao lowered her hands so as to put her heart back in place, and bowed her head. She dismissed the congregation and excused herself away from the offertory first. Adder was about to follow her, worried about this unusual haste, when he felt a tug on his sleeve.
Translator, the priestess does not seem well.
Oh yeah, and this is Cal, right? I think I established this last time. Love Cal.
I know. She's been working real hard lately. She won't hear a word about it. I think it's starting to get to her.
I see. Give this message to the priestess. Tell her that Itor will speak with her.
Itor, not Itor.
This is neither question or request. It is fact.
Okay, but, like, all I can go do now is spend time with Burbeth. Well, that's not necessarily true. But I think I should spend more time with Burbeth because we need to make progress on the whole Sep situation. But I'm sure... Oh, man, I don't know. It's tricky because maybe by doing other things might unlock more things. I don't know. Am I doing it right? I don't know. I'm just gonna have to do multiple playthroughs if I do it wrong. Even though Adder was starting to become proficient at recognizing each individual letter, words were a different matter. He would pour his entire being into carefully reading a word and then fail to see what it meant. That's kind of like me and a lot of Japanese stuff right now. My vocabulary is not the best. I can read just fine, but that's why I really like kanji, is that it usually automatically gives more context to the conversation, whereas like just reading strictly in hiragana is like, I am sure reading. I don't know what some of these words mean. Burbeth said that this was normal and that he would get better with practice, but Adder wasn't so sure. He often felt like he hadn't become better at anything in his life. Oh no, mood. Uh-oh.
Shall I give you a hint?
No, hold on. I got this. Don't help me. Let's see. If the left arm is up and the tail is down, then that's a de?
Indeed, that is correct. Bravo! Let's put them all together then.
De. Lonely R. Adder. Adder? So that's how my name looks?
Aww!
Whoa. It looks sturdy. Like a big boy name, yeah?
That's, like, so interesting, like, having no literacy and seeing for the first time what your name looks like. Oh, that's so cute. I love that.
Devoted to the study of names.
What a feeling.
Both in appearance and meaning. I personally wouldn't waste time with such banalities, but I suspect you shall find them quite interesting.
Like, I say cute, but really I mean empowering. Like, I feel like I'm attributing, because it's not to infantilize Adder in any way. It's mostly because we attribute learning these things to, like, children. So it's like an unintentional infantilization reaction thing, but it's like, it's more like a powerful feeling. Like, seeing what your name looks like for the first time is, like, so cool. It's like, I don't even remember, because I don't remember when I learned to read and write pretty early, so I don't even remember. Again, with hands, like, writing is a thing. Like, I was pretty good at my whole life. Yeah, making progress in general is empowering, but it's like, you know, the ability to communicate without speaking and just being like, this is my name. This is what my name looks like. This is so cool. I love that. Adder observed the sheet, marveled.
I read my name.
He blinked, and the feeling of elation was gone. Only the awareness of how little he knew remained. Yeah, and I guess that is going to be a part of it too.
Will you teach me how to read Askadat?
That is a far more complicated proper noun, and I cannot imagine you would have any good reason to know it.
Someone ought to make sure Gelf ain't sending weird stuff to your brother?
I mean...
Half, brother.
That make any difference to you?
Well, yes and no. And don't misunderstand me. My qualm lies not on the amount of blood we share. My father made plenty of mistakes throughout his life, both before and after I was born. It's not my place to say what I think of them.
I mean...
But, oh, blast that man twice over! Helpar is a phantom of my father come alive.
Uh-oh, daddy issues.
Say what? They ain't got a single thing in common.
Nonsense! They were cut from the same cloth. From his quenchless obsession with looks, to the constant martial nonsense, to all the humiliations he subjected me to in order to toughen me up as a child. It would be comical if it weren't so cruel. Helpar doubled every flaw my father had, to make up for his own precarious situation. And still he continues to torture me. His banishment was lifted last year, but he refuses to return and steal this accursed title no matter how many times I plead.
I can't remember. Is it Elbar or Burbeth that's the bastard? It's Elbar, right? And when I say, you know, bastard parentheses derogatory, it's like, I'm a bastard, so I get to say that.
Even after I personally tried to convince him that a lordship means nothing to me, and he can keep it all for himself, he does nothing but whinge about how much he regrets this misfortune he cast upon me.
I think it's Elbar. Yeah, Elbar's the one born out of wedlock. Okay. Burbeth started pacing around as he rambled, swatting his good arm for no apparent reason.
Why can't he just hate me like he used to? I know it's my fault. I took everything away from him first.
Oh? Do tell. Give us the tea. Barbeth's movements became increasingly more jittery, shaking and flailing quite violently, signs of an outburst that Adder had learned to recognize from his time with Aina. Unlike her, however, Barbeth was still able to turn to Adder with his arms firmly hidden under his shawl and whisper,
Class adjourned. Please leave.
"Oh no!
Hey, translator.
Why do I feel so bad?"
Or something?
I do feel bad.
Yep, that's me. Add or something. It's Adderson, son of your father.
That's you, all right. There's someone out there asking to see the deer that lives here.
Huh? But I don't really live... Oh! Maybe it was Gyoff being petty.
Gyoff?
No, it wasn't the bard. I think it was a she. Anyway, not one of us, but definitely a gazelle.
Could have fooled me. She looked like a proper twit.
The guards wouldn't let any random girl through. Something smells rotten here.
Heh. Curious and terrified to find out who this visitor could be, Adder thanked them and headed towards the gate.
Sir Upperfield.
Oh! Yo, Bommet! Nice look!
Bommet! Yes, person I've never seen in my life?
Honestly, I like it.
Indeed. You've never seen me, you haven't seen me, and you'll never see me again. Needless to say, my presence here poses a huge risk to my person, so I shall keep it brief. For the sake of your descendants, you'd best keep it anonymous.
Ooh.
A decree the likes of which hasn't been seen in 100 years has been issued by the king. Every single Barhan and heirloom that walks the street unaccompanied by a deer is to be detained and taken to the dungeon.
That's a bad move. You shouldn't have did that. It's like, what do you think? There's so many Barhans in the city. You really think you're gonna get away with that without any consequences, my guy? That's the problem with monarchy, man. It's like, they really do think that they have, like, divine power, like the divine rights to rule. And it's like, you're just one guy at the end of the day. Fucking, how does the quote go? Let me fucking be nerdy as shit for a minute. There's no power but what the people allow you to take. Something stirred deep within Adder's mind. Whispers he could barely remember, struggling to form a whole memory.
Heirloomite Barhans are in danger, and I have reason to believe the entire kingdom will follow after. We are to be confined for the foreseeable future until this matter is resolved. However, even after all these centuries, the Temple of Hirub remains, legally, a Basaxaran embassy in foreign lands. To attack it unprovoked without a proper declaration of war would give the Western limits just the fuel they could need to start a war against Akasur.
But that'd mean pretty much all of Dakna would get involved in this.
Bommet nodded gravely.
I know it goes against the request I made the night we met, but would you speak with Sir Askadath once more?
All right. Adder involuntarily cowered at the mere thought, but Bommet continued.
My master is one of the most powerful deer in all of Dakna at the moment. I've known him since he first arrived in the city, and I can tell that his heart is rarely in the right place. But it is malleable like few of his kind. He could still be persuaded to do the right thing.
Absolutely, he could.
Why me? He's just gonna murder me on the spot if he figures out who I am.
Sir Osgadath wears his pain on his sleeve. His life feels purposeless now that another lover has abandoned him, and his king makes impossible demands. I guarantee he'll be none the wiser in his misery to the joy he'll feel lying eyes upon your disguise, Sir Upperfield.
Yeah, I was about to be like, he was totally in love with our, disguised self.
I don't know. This sounds an awful lot like a trap.
I find it difficult to believe your situation could turn much bleaker if it were. Let it be a trap,
At least you'll have the mercy of a quick death.
Bahamut bowed and made to leave.
You still going back?
I have complete and utter faith that everyone involved in this mess will be wiped off the face of Dakna. There may be a future for those that comply, however. So I kindly ask that you make your own choice and forget you ever saw me.
Hey, before you go, can you tell me if Gylf made it safe back to the palace?
Please, I turned him away at the door for his own good. Lord Oscadoth never forgets a grudge.
Adder could only watch as Bahamut scurried away into the back alleys. Like a coward. I do like Bahamut, but you think you're gonna be safe just because you complied? That's foolish.
Who was that?
No one important. Don't worry about it.
It was now Adder's time to run. Okay, wait. Wait, no, okay. I want to do one more. I want to get it back to the morning. So we'll finish out this day, and then that's where I'm going to call it patrol. Patrolling was an old skill that Adder had never truly let go of. An uncommonly large young man wandering about with a big stick was a fairly successful thief deterrent back home, and it only made him a natural choice for conscription. To this day, he still couldn't sleep for long, as much as he tried. Mood. He was lucky to get a few hours here and there every night, and he never felt like staying in bed. Mood, big mood. An insomniac busybody like him could have had a promising career in the city guard. The idea didn't make his stomach churn. Adder knocked on the frame of Zhao's cot.
Got a visit, priestess. You decent?
Yes, come in.
Ooh, hello. The door opened shyly, revealing Sable in a row. Privacy hadn't exactly been a matter of importance to either Adder or Zhao. They spent most of their time together, and they'd fallen asleep on the same premises more than once. But Adder still didn't feel comfortable bothering Zhao in her own room. I totally understand that too. Wait, how do I do I want to see... Fuck, that's not what I meant to do. This one? Yeah. I don't think I've seen this outfit before. It's cute! I love it. Also, damn, wait, hang on. Etor is ripped. Hey, boy. How you doing? The coyness did not extend to... Wait, it's... Etor. He made his way in and marched toward her bed without a second thought. Zhao tried to sit up to greet them, but her weakness was apparent in her face. Etor put a hand on her shoulder and motioned her to lie down again.
Priestess, you should know by now that I am not a patient man. I can't bear to look upon those who waste chances, and my blood boils finding idleness in the face of change. Ibex are said to be great warriors. I came looking for a strong soul.
Zhao cast her face down, ashamed.
But your kind demeanor, and the hope in your words, the innocence in your eyes, you have an air about you that speaks to something I thought dead within. It sends the man I am to sleep and stirs a child awake, and the child fears for you.
This motherfucker is so extra. He could literally just be like, I'm concerned for your well-being. Please take care of yourself. Okay, bye. Zhao tried to sit up again, but Etor stared her down until she fully laid her head on the cushion.
I know that you are brave. You have long proven this. But you are headed down a dangerous path, and you must acknowledge it.
I appreciate your concern, but I know my limits better than anyone.
My parents would say the same every day. They said that they worked hard for my sake, so that I shall not grow with a debt on my head like theirs. They worked dawn and dusk, until the day the Hatsa reclaimed both of their souls.
Yeah. You can only do this for so long before your body just... First of all, you're not as good at anything you're doing because you're working at like 50% fucking capacity, and then, you know, you get sick and you die. I know, I'm an expert at this. Elbar is getting a run for his money on theatrics, right? This motherfucker is so extra.
The only fruit of their efforts was an orphan. stripped of all innocence in the steppes. Their health, their youth, and their lives were taken away by the yoke of the greedy and the powerful, and it was all for nothing.
It's not worth it, y'all.
This is different. I'm giving my all for a good cause.
You are, but your body doesn't know good causes and bad causes. It only knows pain. At this rate, you will wither away before our moment of truth arrives. You will become as you fear, a burden to us all.
Itor rose again, this time with his chin held high so as to look down on the priestess.
Know that if I must take over your duties because you are too weak to continue serving the community, I will proudly step up. And if I do, I won't be as merciful as you have been. If you do not approve of my methods, you'll do well to take better care of yourself. I have spoken.
Okay. Once Itor was out of sight, Zhao finally dared to drag her body out of the bed again. A stressed-out chuckle sigh escaped from her chest.
Is that meant to be an intervention or a threat?
Yes.
I think that's his version of a pep talk, but you heard the bandit guy. He's gonna kick our collective asses into tomorrow if you don't rest up.
You gotta sleep. This is the thing I'm working on right now in my life. Even though my body won't let me sleep a lot of the time because suffer from chronic insomnia. But it's true. I've been dealing with insomnia for well over a decade at this point. It fucks you up in so many ways. You have to sleep. Zhao slammed her face against the bed cushion and sighed into it.
Can we get that break you promised the other day?
Oh, you still want me to come along? Look, I'd love to, but I don't know if I feel very comfy leaving Sep alone like that. Why don't you go take some me time outside?
I don't think I could gather the strength to leave here if I'm not dragging you with me.
They both sighed, fully aware of all the worst ways in which they resembled each other. As if sprung forward by an idea, Zhao suddenly bounced up on her bed.
What if we found a way to bring the Joseph along?
Is that a good idea?
You think we can do that?
I have no idea, but Barbit may know a way. I've read fast stranger things from Sephi. He may just be able to create a temporary container of some kind.
No, wait. Weren't we trying to not do this?
I'd really love that. And I'm sure she would too. She used to have me carry her everywhere back in the day.
At her side. Happily, that is. For the first time in an eternity.
Anything else I can do for you today, priestess?
No. I think I'd just like to rest.
Good.
You got it.
Ada, I know you're anxious, but please try not to hover over everyone's shoulders. You need to take care of yourself too, okay?
Yep. Adder nodded without turning back.
Hey, Bones.
Fuck!
What's cooking?
Adder briefly set the world record in the category of vertical jump holding a pot.
But boss, what are you doing out here so early? We ain't precisely alone, you know.
Oh? Would you rather I met you somewhere more private, then? See how long I can hold back?
I don't remember recording this. Eka craned her snout towards Adder's face and opened her jaw.
Things aren't looking up for your party, pup. My crew's informed me that the guard is on the move. An attack on the temple will be ordered soon.
Oh, wait. No, now I do.
How much time do we have?
4 days at most.
Fuck. Oh no, I hope I did all the things I was supposed to do. Metal Gear alert noises. Colonel.
We're not supposed to help you directly. Our mission could be compromised. But I'm not going to let you die like this. We'll help you clear a path out of the city.
What do you want in return?
Nothing. I won't say letting you all get massacred so we can have a feast doesn't sound appealing. But I wouldn't want all those lives to go to waste. Not without a few tons of salt or enough vinegar to drown you. Fresh meat spoils fast.
I mean... she's right. Adder felt a breath hitch inside his chest, suddenly reminded of the pot he was holding to the fire. Pickles. She was talking about them like pickles. He couldn't help the disturbed chortle that burst from his throat.
Yeah, wouldn't want a good meal spoiled, would we?
Would she even bother to cook him first? Or would she just be as lazy as he was and strip his meat down to the bones raw? Yeah.
Oh, Bones, I'm not talking about you. You are meat, but I'm not one to play around with food. Not with food I like, anyway.
There's a ton of bad guys out there, you know.
I'm sure there are. We've had to downsize operations quite a bit, though. So we'll have to settle down for one bad guy. It's like, whatever, right? One landlubber less in the world. I'm sure the deer aren't even going to miss him. We've come this far just to eat one guy.
Yeah, that's rough, Ming. The whole point was to eat the rich. And now there are going to be rich people that aren't getting eaten. Man. Eka dragged her claws down Adder's arm until she reached his hands. She was the first person ever to have come even close to being able to hold them.
But I'll make an exception just for you. Say their names. We won't even leave their blood behind.
Oh, I can think of a few, actually. Adder took a hand to the wound in his chest. He closed it and opened it over the nearly... Wait. Cicatrized? Is that the word? Fuck, I know this word. Is it... Cicatrized, I think. Gash. He looked through the gaps in the columns, seeing the wires limiting access to the district. He cast his eye down on the people trying to go about their life on the patio.
No, I can't. That would make me as bad as they are.
I don't give a shit. I've got names. I got names, Eka.
Oh, Bones! Oh, that's so silly. Hey, this deer's murdered 20 deer. If I kill him, I'll be the one who's killed 21 deer instead. Oh, you really have the weirdest hang-ups sometimes.
I mean...
Well, that's what we're here for anyway. We'll take care of this, so you don't have to stress out your little ruminant head with made-up problems.
Eka patted the top of Adder's head and smiled one of her twisted, toothful smiles.
You know what? That's my mistake. I do need something in return. We can't really fight in the open, and you don't want to get your hands dirty, so I'm taking Aina back, just in case.
Say what? No, you can't!
Are you going to stop me, Bones? That's what I thought. Be a good puppy now. We'll be back with my sister before you know it.
Man, I love that hat. Adder watched Eka leave, horrified. He already knew the truth, but it somehow struck him now. He was at the mercy of the beasts. He was powerless against the guards. He didn't know how to confide in what few friends remained. He needed new allies. Jayton! Oh no, I guess we can't go see Zhao. So it's Burbeth time. But it's not, because actually, I gotta save. Okay, it's not quite 2. So, I'm not going to bed super late. This is kind of like a normal bedtime for me. You know, if I go to sleep, because, like, I'm so awake right now. But yeah, that's where I'm going to put it. I mentioned earlier when I first started the stream that I'm making an attempt to have more structure in my schedule. So, I'm going to try to plan more streams. I'll be back Friday for sure. Friday night with Daniel for Ace Attorney. And then I'm hoping that I'm going to make Wednesdays or Thursdays my other stream day for right now. And we'll continue this. So Wednesday or Thursday. I don't fucking know the time, y'all. It'll probably be morning again or something. I don't know. Whatever time. Keep an eye on our Twitter or Discord. There's a link in our info panel that just invites you to Discord. So like if you want to keep track, I always post in Discord when we go live. Always. And yeah, and thanks for hanging out. And I'll see y'all next time. Take your meds, drink water. For the love of all that is holy and unholy, go touch grass. Go outside. Trust me, it's good for you. And I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.